there's always interesting misconceptions with people who want to do the right thing for nature, but they don't really understand nature, right? Like the seal hunt was a big one for a long time. People have been hunting seals, and then there was a big campaign to stop that because it seemed cruel, which hunting anything has a level of cruelty. However, it's part of the natural process. So when they stopped the seal hunt, the seal population exploded, and the fish stocks went down, and the seals starved, and everyone suffered because we took that step out of nature that had found a balance. But my mother, she makes fur garments. That's her occupation. She gets mostly Canadian beaver that's been trapped, and she cuts it into thin strips and knits it. She's the beaver weaver, we call her. So yeah, it was Father Goose and the beaver weaver was for my folks there. But when people found out that my father was like a naturalist and trying to save the species of birds and all this kind of stuff, they were excited. And then they'd find out my mother was a furrier and thought it was like a big clash, right? But really, the furriers are getting their furs from trap lines when the trappers really know the land and have the eyes and the ears on it. And they don't ever want to overtrap, so they will, moderate the animals, and they make sure that there's plenty of animals to trap. So, like it's not always just as simple and straightforward as people think about how nature works. And so it was always an education because, Dad was really he always wanted to be a hero, right? When he was a kid, his heroes were all fighter pilots from the war that killed people. So he always wanted to be a hero, but he didn't, agree with the idea of killing people. So this was his way of making that happen. And he really did manage to become a hero to a lot of people and do this. But it was more driven from wanting to be a hero and having adventures and all this kind of stuff. Whereas my mother, she was never into that kind of situation. She just wanted to, do good things and make quality products and be environmental, which she was as a furrier and still is, and she still does that. But a lot of people don't see it that way, and they see my father as this big hero and my mother as this evil kind of. It's very strange to see.
Yeah.
But it also tells you a lot about how we understand things and how we are easily fooled by, what what seems to be right, as opposed to really looking what's happening. Right?
This is the story of a flight unlike any that has ever been attempted before, of a strange kinship between a young squadron of geese and a contraption that looks as if you dreamed it into the sky, and a man known as Father Goose.